Working for DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, or any one of these companies, did you know that you are a business owner? No? Yes? Whether you knew it or not, in this video I'm going to share great information that is crucial to being a business owner, things that these companies do not share with you that are very important for your success and sustainability going forward. In your DoorDash agreement, it says, contractor understands and expressly agrees that he or she is not an employee of DoorDash or any restaurant, other business, or consumer, and that she is providing delivery and other services on behalf of him, herself, and her business, not on behalf of DoorDash. Yes, this is an agreement that you recently agreed to that 99% plus of you never read. She is free to accept or reject the opportunities transmitted through the DoorDash platform by consumers and can make such decisions to maximize her opportunity to profit, very important word there, profit, and she has the sole right to control the manner in which deliveries are performed and the means by which those deliveries are completed. This addresses the acceptance rating and the accepting and rejecting offers. Clearly it states that you can reject offers as many to gain a profit. You're a business owner. You have to make smart business choices. So those that are promoting high acceptance ratings and working harder, not smarter, they're freaking clueless. In another section, contractor represents that she operates an independently established enterprise that provides delivery and other services, and that she satisfies all legal requirements and has all necessary licenses and permits necessary to perform any services contemplated by the agreement. Again, this is DoorDash getting rid of all responsibility on themselves, putting it on you as you're an independent contractor. That's how it should be. They're trying to clear themselves of the ABC ruling that's coming in January that could potentially reclassify them as an employer in California. Big deal there. As an independent business enterprise, contractor retains the right to perform services, whether delivery services, other services, for others, and to hold herself out to the general public as a separately established business. Again, it keeps stating business, enterprise. Yes, you are a business owner and a business, whether you knew it or not before. With that comes a lot of responsibility and things that you really should be thinking about in the decisions you make on which offers you accept or reject. And I'll get into that a little bit later. The parties acknowledge and agree that this agreement is between two co-equal independent business enterprises that are separately owned and operated. The parties intend this agreement to create the relationship of principal and independent contractor and not that of employer and employee. Very important. When you're accepting 85% and above, you're essentially now an employee relationship with them. That's their way of getting around being classified as an employer, but still getting you to work as an employee, and they get to escape a lot of fees and responsibility. And it says agents, joint ventures, or partners of each other for any purpose. Again, them just trying to clear themselves of any responsibility and to pass that ABC test that's coming in January in California. Now that we've cleared that up, that you are a business owner, let's talk about some things that a business does focus on and something you should be really focused on. A profit and loss statement. Something that businesses track either quarterly or yearly. I suggest quarterly, that way you know how much you're gonna have to pay in taxes, and allows you to make adjustments a lot sooner than later if you're not making much of a profit. Now, what does a profit and loss mean? Profit and loss statement is a financial statement that summarizes the revenues, costs, and expenses incurred during a specified period, usually a fiscal quarter or year. Now, how do you calculate profit or loss? Easy. You add up all your income for the month, their earnings, something that most of you only focus on. Add up all your expenses for the month. I'll go into that in just a little bit on what that consists of. Calculate the difference by subtracting total expenses away from total income. And the result is your profit or loss. Again, we should be focused on profit, not earnings. Because with earnings, you aren't deducting your expenses and you really don't know what your profit is because again, you are a business owner, not an employee. Being a business owner and not an employee, you are not eligible for benefits like sick pay, vacation time, 401k, all those different things that are expenses that you will have as a business owner if you want time off, if you want to take vacation, etc. Now, let's talk about expenses that you need to track. Gas, that is one of the biggest ones, right? Now, I know in a recent video, someone mentioned the different expenses, how you don't need to pay attention to depreciation of your car and mileage. That's complete BS. Now, gas being one of the biggest expenses, we really have to focus on that, right? Insurance is another one. Now, I have something about insurance in just a little bit because you should have extra protection on insurance than just your personal coverage on that car. Now, those of you just have basic coverage, personal coverage, you're at risk big time. Again, I'll go into that in just a second. In short, the other thing you'll need, repairs, tires. Now, something that wasn't mentioned in a recent video of someone else's, when they talked about repairs, I've been doing this for over 3 years myself. I had a brand new car when I started. I had to replace 2 of 4 motor mounts a few months back. That cost me over $700. How many of you have $700 extra in your bank for a big repair like that? On top of tires, oil changes, the regular smaller things. There are other repairs that are going to come that are big like that one, like that $700. And again, how many of you had just had the extra money sitting in your bank account as gig workers to take care of those repairs when they do come up? Probably a pretty small percentage of you. Something else that you can deduct as expense, your lease payment, not the total payment as far as if you're owning a car and you're paying it off. That's different than a lease. You can only then deduct the interest. And again, that is if you're financing a car. You can only deduct the interest. These are things you should talk to a tax expert anyway about. I'm just giving you the basics on what expenses. The other way you could do is a standard mileage deduction. The standard mileage rate for business use is based on an annual study of the fixed and variable costs of operating an automobile. 58 cents per mile driven for business use, up 3.5 cents from last year. Taxpayers always have the option of calculating the actual cost of using their vehicle rather than using the standard mileage rates. And that's the one I used before. Whether you're using lease, your interest on your finance, gas, repairs, etc. You're either using that or you're using the standard mileage deduction. Depends on you. If you're in a situation where your expenses are higher than the standard mileage deduction, of course you're going to use that. Most of you, you're going to be using this, 58 cents per mile. Why is that important? That is where you're going to figure where your profits are. Now, if it says it costs you 58 cents per mile to operate your car for business use, that means that's how much it's going to cost you. Now, let's use $1 per mile. You're operating your vehicle for work purposes. If you're making $1 per mile, subtract 58 cents, your expenses, you're now operating at a 42 cent per mile profit. That's where we should be thinking as business owners, not overall earnings. Earnings do not take into consideration all the expenses each situation has. And all of our situations are very different. Like I said, my car's a newer car. Yours might be a beater car. You don't have a finance payment. You don't have a lease, etc. Yada, yada, yada. Everyone's situations are extremely different. So for me to tell you what's your time's worth and what you're worth and what I'm worth, that's completely absurd. You decide what your business is worth and your time based on expenses and a number of other variables. That's how I figured out how much I need to make on a regular basis. It has nothing to do with personal value and I'm so important and special. No, it has to do with the fact that I'm operating a business and I need to operate at a profit, not a loss, for it to be sustainable long term. Now, I would say IRS.gov is a much better resource than Car Gurus. That's just me. But you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just providing the facts and important information that you need to know as independent contractors and gig workers. Whether you make these choices yourself and use this information is up to you. No skin off my back. Now let's flip back to that insurance part that I mentioned earlier that's very important. Services at his or her own expense. Contractor acknowledges that failure to secure or maintain satisfactory insurance coverage shall be deemed material breach of this agreement and shall result in the termination of the agreement and the loss of contractor's right to receive delivery opportunities. Now, how many of you have adequate insurance as delivery drivers? I know I have myself on State Farm. I have an extra expense. I can't remember what it's called, but I got it when I was doing rideshare, and it covers deliveries as well. Most insurance, if you go look at what is excluded, you'll see in there delivery, livery. So like if you're doing rideshare, if you're doing delivery services, I'm going to provide a great resource right up here. This is a podcast, and there was an article associated with the podcast that talks about insurance, which companies have what type of coverage, like Grubhub has no coverage whatsoever, and what could happen if you get in an accident. And yeah, you could say I wasn't delivering at the time, a lot of different things, but who's to say that you're not in a bad accident and they don't say that you were doing deliveries at the time? If they claim and find that's what was going on, there's nothing you can do about it. Now look at the part for workman's comp, something else that most of you do not have that you should have as the agreement that you agreed to recently. Contractor agrees that contractor will maintain sufficient insurance to cover any risk or claims arising out of or related to contractor's relationship with DoorDash, including workers' compensation insurance where required by law. Now, whichever state you're in, you might want to do a little research and find out if you're required by law to have workman's comp insurance. If you are, your risk for deactivation and termination of your agreement with DoorDash for not having that coverage. Again, more things that are not shared with you when you start up into this that you should have: expenses, coverages, liabilities, responsibilities. There's a lot that comes with just signing onto the app and doing a simple delivery. Working smarter does not mean you're not working harder. We have to work hard in this industry, especially those of us that are running multiple apps. It can be stressful, overwhelming, and very tricky at times. We have to put in a lot of hours. We don't have days off. We're working sometimes Monday through Sunday. So this whole notion that my hashtag work smarter means you don't need to work harder, it's complete nonsense. What it means, you're a business owner. You have to work smarter, make better business choices to make a profit and for this to be sustainable. Let's get one thing clear. DoorDash or any of these companies do not care about you. They don't care whether you make a profit. They don't care if this is sustainable, because there's always the next person behind you willing to take your spot. They will continue to keep this game going and this vicious cycle until we have some type of solidarity. Quit accepting all this crap. And what does that mean? That doesn't mean you're accepting $10 and above. $10, we're just looking for the huge offers. In a recent video, and I'll put that up here as well, the link, I talked about how to make more money with DoorDash. I gave a 30, 40, 50 rule, which was a minimum of $6 on your offers. My suggestion was do not accept anything lower than $6. The average delivery driver is going to get 3 deliveries done per hour. That means if your lowest is $6 per hour, you're going to make at least $18 an hour. As a business owner, with all the expenses we have, especially if you're paying workman's comp, you have proper insurance, you have to make that much money. We can't be making garbage. All right? So enough of the nonsense. Hashtag work smarter means making better, smarter business choices as an independent contractor in the gig economy. We have to work hard. Most of us take one day off a week, if even that. So the whole notion that what I preach and teach is not to work hard is complete crap. Somebody's just assuming. Anyone can go on YouTube and promote working 60 hours plus a week and accept everything and hope it all works out in the end. It doesn't. There's too many variables. Some people are going to get really lucky and they're going to do really well. Or you might do really well one week and not so well for several weeks. My advice in teaching, coaching helps you create some type of consistency. That way this is sustainable and you can make it work for you in any number of different situations. Now, if you're shooting for that top dasher, all you're doing is robbing Peter to pay Paul. I could show you tons of examples of where I have 5% lower acceptance rating, but I keep receiving all these big offers. So the crap that you have to accept more offers to receive big offers is, again, complete crap. I heard somebody out there, their claim to fame is they have over 7,000 DoorDash deliveries. Well, guess what? I have filtered through over 100,000 DoorDash offers. That is raw data. I've seen over 100,000 offers and I can tell what they're doing. I know how many offers are lowball, how many are mid-tier, how many are higher tier. This does not include all the information data that I've collected from a bunch of you. The information that a lot of you send me in my email, gigcoachjake@gmail.com, that helps give me insight to what DoorDash is doing, not only in my market, but nationwide. So your 7,000 to 10,000 deliveries are crap in relation to the amount of offers I filter through and will continue to filter through to understand how this app functions and how you all can succeed and make better choices. Another thing that was asked, where would you be, I be, without DoorDash? Well, I'll tell you what, I do minimal DoorDash. I do more researching and studying of the app than I do actual earnings from it. I would be just fine. And guess what? Where would I be without gig economy? I'd be doing coaching work somewhere or back in school, shooting for my next venture. Who knows? There are a lot of opportunities out there. You best believe that I'm not limited to gig work alone, and neither are many of you. Also, gig economy and YouTube. Where would I be without YouTube? I'd be just fine. I don't pump out a video every day to pump up my earnings, to get those views. I don't make fancy thumbnails for my videos. I basically put what it is. That way people know exactly what to expect from the video. So I'd be just fine without YouTube, DoorDash, gig economy in general. So to say that I need DoorDash or I need YouTube to succeed, you're completely fooled. You have no clue. And why did I originally get into this? Because personally, I saw how many people were being affected by gig work when I was in rideshare, when Lyft and Uber were driving down the rates. I helped a lot of single women, helped a lot of single mothers, elderly, retired folks that were getting screwed over, getting taken advantage of. I saw firsthand what happens in this business. That's why I got into this, to help people nationwide, to help make a difference. I saw exactly what's going on with gig economy and these companies and how they're exploiting. So to sit there and act like you're some knight in shining armor and to put me out to be some bad person, you're a pile of crap. With that being said, Betty Boop, the fake YouTube creator, I will continue to help people out there and do my thing as Gig Coach Jake. Call me Gym Coach, whatever you want. I don't care. You're the real fool. You're the real clown. I do this to really help people, not to entertain and not for drama. So with that being said, save the drama for Betty Boop's channel and all the rest of those fools and clowns. Have a great day, evening. Be safe out there. And as always, work smarter. #low pay, no way.